Hello friends, my name is Vikas. So friends, in today's video we will be discussing important defense related questions of March month. This video will be very helpful to you, so do pay attention till the end. So friends, we have an app by the name Cloud which you can go and download through the Play Store in your Android phones. This app will help you in boosting your preparation. Once you have downloaded this app, you can go and log in with your Gmail or Google ID in this application. And once you have logged in, then you will be transferred to this page here. On this page, you will be able to see home, all courses, my courses, and doubt sessions also. So in the courses, if we talk to you, in the courses, if you purchase course from us, we will be providing you with multiple material for your preparation. Material such as your daily current affairs, your weekly current affairs, your monthly current affairs. In daily, we will be providing you with 20 questions quiz, an ebook that is in your PDF formats of the questions of that particular day. Then we'll be providing you in weekly with the same 50 question quiz that will be a compiled and important 50 questions, and also we'll be providing you a compiled PDF of the weekly current affairs then in the question answer format also. It will be a very helpful PDF, and similarly for monthly also we'll be providing you important monthly current affairs on a monthly basis. So the same content you will be revising maximum number of times, and it will help you in your preparation. We'll also provide material related to your banking and awareness also, and apart from that we'll be covering all important topics such as your apps and web portal, important days, books and authors, national affairs, international affairs, sports, defense, awards, obituary, important days, and what not. Everything will be covered in this topic wise by me only. So apart from that, we also provide state wise current affairs that will also help you to prepare for the regional exams coming. All right, so friends, this is the app that you should definitely go and download if you want to step up your preparation. Apart from that, if you want to purchase any course from our application, then to help you out, we'll be providing you an additional 10% discount if you use Vikas 10 code. I repeat, if you want to avail an extra 10% discount on all the purchase you made through the application, you will be provided with 10% discount on the purchase by using this code, that is your Vikas 10. So friends, let's start. Before starting defense, let's discuss an Operation Ganga. This is an important mission that was recently started by the government of India. The sole aim of this project or this mission, Operation Ganga, was to bring back the Indians from Ukraine. All the Indians that were stuck in the war zone, that is of Ukraine, were brought back to India. Around 15,000 Indians under this mission Operation Ganga was evacuated from the Ukraine. All right, important one, pay attention. Next we are talking about Dharma Guardian, important exercise. Dharma Guardian, this exercise is conducted between India and Japan. I repeat, this exercise, that is Dharma Guardian, is conducted between India and Japan. Highly important. First of all, remember this. Then remember, this is the third edition of this exercise, annual joint military exercise. Exercise EX is for exercise Dharma Guardian, that is conducted between India and Japan. Now, where is the location? If asked, what is the location where this exercise is conducted? The location will be, if I'm asking you state here, which is the state? It is Karnataka. In Karnataka, this exercise will be conducted in Belgaum. Alright, this exercise, Dharma Guardian, will be a 12-day long exercise. This is the third edition of the exercise, Dharma Guardian, and the location is Belgaum, Karnataka. Alright, this will be conducted from 27th of Feb to 10th of March. That is a 12-day long exercise, and special emphasis are laid on enhancing tactical skills to fight global terrorism. Apart from this, you need to remember, these are important. Who are the participants of this exercise, that is Dharma Guardian? Exercise Dharma Guardian. Who are the participants from Indian side? It is your 15th Battalion of the Maratha Light Infantry Regiment of the Indian Army. Important question. Then if we are talking about Japan, 30th Infantry Regiment of the Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force was from Japan side, and 15th Battalion of the Maratha Light Infantry Regiment from the Indian side. All right, these are the participants from Indian side in this Dharma Guardian exercise that is conducted between India and Japan. This was a 12-day long exercise. Where was this conducted? Location is Karnataka. All right. Then moving on. Next we are talking about Silinex. As I have told you, SLINEX. Here EX is for exercise, SL is for Sri Lanka, and IN is for your India. So between which two countries this exercise Silinex is conducted? It is conducted between Sri Lanka and India. This is Silinex. This was conducted between 7th to 10th of March. And remember, apart from this, that this is the ninth edition of the Sri Lanka India naval exercise by the name Silinex. Now, what is the location where this exercise was conducted? It was held at Visakhapatnam. And where is Visakhapatnam? It is in Andhra Pradesh. So this is the location of the ninth edition of Sri Lanka India naval exercise, that is Silinex. Apart from this, remember this Silinex exercise, this was conducted into two phases. The first phase was your harbor phase. Second phase of this exercise was the sea phase. The harbor phase was conducted on Visakhapatnam, or you can say location was Visakhapatnam. The second phase of exercise, that is your sea phase, was conducted in the Bay of Bengal. All right, so this is everything you need to know about Silinex, and this is the ninth edition. The aim of this exercise is enhancing the interoperability, improving mutual understanding, and enhancing best practices for the future operation. The 8th edition of the Silinex was conducted off Trikomli, a port of Sri Lanka. Alright, that means 8th edition, that was in 2020. It was conducted in Sri Lanka, and now it is the 9th edition of Silinex that is being conducted where it is conducted in two phases. In first phase at Visakhapatnam, that is your harbor phase, and in second phase Bay of Bengal, that is in the sea phase. Apart from this, then we should know who are the representatives from the Indian side who took part in this exercise. It is your from Indian side, if we are talking about INS Kirch. INS Kirch is the Indian naval ship that took part in this particular exercise from the Indian side. And apart from this, INS Jyoti also took part in this exercise. Then if we are talking about from Sri Lankan side, SLNS Sayurala. Sayurala is the naval ship of Sri Lanka that took part from the Sri Lankan side. Moving on. Next we'll be talking about Suraksha Kavach 2. Suraksha Kavach. Recently, Indian Army conducts a joint security exercise, that is Suraksha Kavach 2. Remember, Indian Army's Agnibaj division, this is the division that organized this exercise, that is Suraksha Kavach 2, with Maharashtra Police at Pune. So, Agnibaj division of Indian Army along with Maharashtra Police, this exercise Suraksha Kavach 2 was conducted. And where was this conducted? Location is in, it was conducted in Pune. The aim of this exercise was to counter any terrorist activity that can happen in the coming future in the location Pune. Alright, this exercise involved the participation of CTTF. This is important. What is CTTF? CTTF is your counter-terrorism task force of the Indian Army, anti-terrorism squad of Maharashtra Police, along with the quick reaction teams of QRTs, dog squads, bomb disposable teams, and of both the agencies took part in this exercise. So, Agni Division of Indian Army along with Maharashtra Police took part in the Suraksha Kavach 2 that was conducted at what location? At Pune. And the aim of this exercise was to counter any terrorist actions that can happen in the future in Pune. Next we'll be talking about third edition of the India-Uzbekistan joint military exercise, that is your exercise Dust Lake. Important. Alright, third edition of the India-Uzbekistan joint military exercise, that is Dust Lake. EX is for exercise. And where was this exercise conducted? Yangrik. Yangrik is the location that is in Uzbekistan where this exercise was conducted. This is the third edition of this exercise Dust Lake that was conducted in 2022, and it was conducted between India and Uzbekistan. Where was the location of this exercise where it was conducted? It was conducted in Uzbekistan only from 22nd to 31st of March. Exercise Dust Lake mainly focus on counter-terrorist operations in semi-urban terrain under a United Nations mandate. If we are talking about Dust Lake 2, remember second edition of this exercise was conducted in Ranikhet in Uttarakhand in the March of 2021, and this is the third edition that is conducted in Uzbekistan. So both are important. Pay attention. Moving on. Next, we are talking about NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. As we know, recently there is a war going between Ukraine and Russia. The reason Russia attacked on Ukraine was because Ukraine wanted to join alliance with NATO countries. All right, but Russia didn't want Ukraine to be a part of NATO or European Union. So the main reason of Russia was to attack on Ukraine for this sole purpose. So recently, if we are talking about NATO, NATO has recently kicked off a military exercise in the location of Norway. This is important. Question can be asked, where has NATO conducted a military exercise recently? It was conducted in Norway, and a name has been given to this particular exercise, that is Cold Response 2022. This is the name of this military exercise that was conducted where? In Norway. Who conducted this? It was conducted by NATO members. This was a planned, the Cold Response 2020 is a plan to conduct multilateral military exercise involving Army, Navy, Air Force from 14th to 1st of April by the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the location will be Norway. This cold response exercise is a biannual exercise aimed to test how Norway would manage allied reinforcement on its soil in line with Article 5 of the NATO 5 character. So just remember, in defensive exercise, this would allow around 30,000 troops and 220 aircrafts along with 50 vessels and 27 nations to take part in this particular defensive exercise, that is called Response 2022. And where is the location? It is in Norway. Who is conducting this exercise? NATO. If we are talking about NATO, it is an international military alliance of 30 European Union and North American countries. Apart from this, the main aim of this NATO was the member countries agree to a mutual defense in response to an attack by an external party. That means if any country plans to attack on the NATO members, then all of the NATO members will consider them attack on themselves, and they will be helping the country on which the attack was made to defend themselves and to attack also. If we are talking about headquarters, it is in Brussels, Belgium. Secretary General is Jens Stoltenberg. Then if we are talking about BrahMos, remember this is an important topic you need to pay attention. BrahMos is a joint venture between India and Russia. First thing you need to remember this. Alright, BrahMos is a joint venture between India and Russia. If we are talking about BrahMos, BrahMos is a surface to surface missile. It is a surface to surface missile. Which is the organization who has developed this surface to surface BrahMos supersonic cruise missile? It is your DRDO. DRDO. Alright. And recently, remember, on 23rd of March, DRDO recently successfully test fired this BrahMos supersonic missile. And what is the location from which this was successfully test fired? It was test fired from Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Alright. Apart from this, remember, Philippines has approved the purchase of BrahMos supersonic cruise missile with India for its navy. This is the first country that is procuring BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles from India. All right. Then here we are talking about AUKUS. What is AUKUS? AUKUS is a trilateral joint exercise, you can say, that has been established between three countries that you need to remember. AU, remember Australia. Then UK, United Kingdom, Britain. Then comes your third, United States of America. So these three countries together came to form this joint lateral, or you can say a collaborating exercise, that is AUKUS. So this AUKUS is conducted between Australia, UK and United States of America. Then remember, there is a Quad countries also. Who are in the Quad countries? Australia, United States of America, India and Japan. These four countries are part of Quad nations, and Quad nations together conducts an exercise, that is Malabar exercise. Then what is the latest news regarding this AUKUS is that they have together stated that they will be together collaborating on the hypersonic weapon. That means, as you can see in the image, this is a kind of a missile. So they together will be developing a hypersonic missile to counter the presence of Russia and China. As we know, Russia has attacked on Ukraine now, and the concerns are growing, due to which these three countries, which were a part of AUKUS, have now stated that they together will be jointly developing a hypersonic missile. Very important. What is a hypersonic missile? That can travel faster than the speed of sound. And remember, it is expected that this missile, this hypersonic missile, will be traveling at the speed, or will be uh, moving at the speed of 4 Mach. What is 4 Mach? 4 Mach is 1 Mach is equal to the speed of sound. That means 4 Mach will mean that it will be moving at time 4 times the speed of sound. So the range of this speed will be between 4 to 5 Mach for this particular hypersonic missile that will be jointly developed with AUKUS, and AUKUS is Australia, UK and United States of America. Next we'll be talking about a naval exercise. This naval exercise is Varuna. Varuna exercise, as we saw, this is conducted between India and France. India and France conducted this naval exercise. It was conducted in location. Where was this conducted? Arabian Sea. It was conducted in Arabian Sea. And apart from this, remember, this Varuna exercise is the 20th edition of the naval exercise that was conducted between India and France. It was conducted from 30th of March to 3rd of April. For the first time, this exercise was conducted in 1993. All right, India and France. Next, we'll be talking about exercise Imax 2022. What is the full form of Imax? Ions Maritime Exercise. This Ions Maritime Exercise was conducted in two phases, remember. It was conducted in Arabian Sea and it was conducted at the Goa port, that is in Marma Goa port. Alright, this was the first phase of exercise, that is the harbor phase. And Arabian Sea, this was the second phase of the exercise, that is the sea phase of the exercise. So Ions Maritime Exercise was the exercise that was conducted in two phases. That the first phase was harbor phase, and second was sea phase. Then who were the participating nations in this exercise? Remember, Ions members comprises of 24 nations, out of which 15 nations took part in this exercise. The navies of India, Australia, France, Bangladesh, Maldives, Indonesia, Mozambique, Qatar, Sri Lanka, Oman, UAE, Thailand, they all took part in this exercise. Alright, if we are talking about IONS, here we saw there are 24 members. This IONS was established in the year 2007, and for the first time symposium was held in the year 2008. But what it is a form of collaboration as well as cooperation among the navies of the Indian Ocean regional littoral states. What are littoral states? Littoral states are the states that have sea or beaches, you can say. All right, they are on the coast. These are the littoral states. So these are the Ions is the member of all the littoral states of the Indian Ocean region. All right, so this is everything you need to know about IMAX. Moving on, then you should know about a monster missile, you can say. Monster missile. The name of this monster missile is Hwasong 17. Which country recently tested fired this Hwasong missile? It was North Korea. Alright, this is the biggest ICBM ever developed. But what is ICBM? ICBM stands for Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. This is the largest ICBM that has been developed so far, and it has been developed by North Korea. Remember, this missile can potentially deliver a nuclear warhead also to any United States location. This missile is being named a monster missile. As I told you, a monster missile or a Hwasong 17. This is also monster missile. Alright. Then during the testing phase, this Hwasong 17 traveled a distance of 1070 kilometers to hit the target. Alright, and it is the largest ICBM that has been developed so far, and it is of North Korea. Next, we'll be talking about Lamitya exercise. This Lamitya exercise was conducted between India and Seychelles. The location where this exercise was conducted is Seychelles. And remember, this exercise was conducted between the armies of these two countries. All right, from Indian side it was your Indian Army, and from the Seychelles sides it was your Seychelles Defense Force that took part in this particular exercise. If we are talking from Indian side, it was your Gorkha Rifles Group, that is your Pir Kanthi Battalion. It was your Pir Kanthi Battalion that took part in this from the Indian Army side in this Lamitia exercise that was conducted in Seychelles only. Alright, then apart from this, if I ask you, tell me, Prasthan was conducted by whom? It was conducted by Indian Navy's Western Naval Command. Alright, by whom was this Prasthan conducted? It was conducted by Indian Navy's Western Naval Command. Apart from this, if I ask you, tell me, US and Philippines, they both together hold the largest ever military drills. They holded the largest ever military drills, and it was at Balikatan 2022. Balikatan 2022, it was the largest ever military drill that was conducted by which two countries? US and Philippines. And Philippines is the only country, and it has become the first country to procure the BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles from India. Alright, then apart from this, if I ask you, tell me, where was the fifth edition of the, or you can say fifth in the series of OPV, that is your offshore patrol vessel ICGS Saksham was commissioned? Where was this fifth in the series of offshore patrol vessel ICGS Saksham was commissioned? This was commissioned in Goa. Important. Then tell me, recently Wings India 2022, where was this conducted? Wings India 2022. What is the location where this exercise was conducted? It was conducted in Hyderabad. Then apart from this, tell me, who conducted this exercise? Which was the organization? It was Ministry of Civil Aviation and FICCI. They both together conducted this Wings India 2022, and the location of this exercise was Hyderabad. Then if I ask you some questions related to sports, tell me, who won the Asian Billiards Championship for the 8th time? Asian Billiards Championship for the 8th time. He is Pankaj Advani. If I ask you, who won the F1 Bahrain Championship or Bahrain GP Grand Prix? Who won the F1 Bahrain Grand Prix for the year 2021 or 2022? He is Charles Leclerc. And for what company Charles Leclerc drive? He is driving for Ferrari. Next question. Tell me, recently which Australian badminton player took retirement? Australian badminton player. And she's a woman. Remember, Ashley. ASHLEIGH. Ashley Barty. And Ashley Barty is world number 1 badminton player in women's single title. All right, and she has taken recently retirement. Question will be asked, she is from which country? She is from Australia, and she is the first person from Australia to win Australian Open. All right, she's the first person from Australia, first woman from Australia to win Australian Open for their country. All right, next, then tell me, when do you observe Global Recycling Day? Global Recycling Day. When do you observe Global Recycling Day? Global Recycling Day is observed on 18th of March. Then tell me, when do we observe the World, or you can say World Water Day? World Water Day. When do we observe World Water Day? Tell me. Important question. And also tell me the theme of this World Water Day. So World Water Day, it is observed on 22nd of March, and the theme for this World Water Day will be groundwater making the invisible visible. Groundwater making the invisible visible. This is the theme for the World Water Day that is observed on 22nd of March. Then tell me, which is the first city of India to get the Steel slag rod. Steel slag rod. First city of India, it is your Surat, and it is in which state? It is in Gujarat that got the first steel slag rod in India. Alright, then tell me, SIDBI will be helping which state to develop MSME sector there? In order to improve the MSME ecosystem in that particular state, SIDBI will be helping with which state? It is Meghalaya. It is Meghalaya. Then tell me, recently, which state has launched personal loans? Personal loans specifically for prisoners. I repeat, personal loans specifically for prisoners was launched by recently which state? It was launched by Maharashtra. Maharashtra will be providing personal loans. All right. Then tell me, if I ask you, recently World Bank, they launched or they issued the first wildlife conservation bond to protect which animal? Tell me. West Bengal has recently launched the first ever wildlife conservation bond, and it is to protect Africa's black rhino. In order to protect Africa's black rhino, world's first wildlife conservation bond was issued by which organization? World Bank. Where is the headquarter? It is in Washington DC. IMF also has headquarter in Washington DC. UNEP in Nairobi, Kenya, that is United Nations Environment Program. UNDP, United Nations Development Program, its headquarters is in New York. Then if we are talking about, tell me, I am here asking you about the most noise polluted, I repeat, most noise polluted city of the world. And this data was presented by UNEP. All right, UNEP recently released a report that is stated that the most noise polluted city of the world is your Dhaka. Dhaka is the capital of Bangladesh. All right, and in second place it is Moradabad. Then tell me, who has been appointed as the advisor in Ministry of Defense? In Ministry of Defense, who has been appointed as the advisor in the Ministry of Defense? He is Vinod G. Khandare. Vinod G. Khandare has been appointed as the advisor in the Ministry of Defense. Important question. Then apart from this, if I ask you, tell me, which bank recently has won the best MSME Bank of the Year award? Best MSME Bank of the Year award. It is Karnataka Bank. Then coming back to defense, recently President of India, Ram Nath Kovind sir, presented or awarded the President's Color. President's Color. This President's Color was presented to which Indian naval ship? Comment below. Which INS, that is your Indian naval ship, was awarded with the President's Color by Ram Nath Kovind, who is the President of India? It is your which INS? It is your INS Valsura, was presented with President's Color by Ram Nath Kovind, who is the President of India. Then if I ask you, which airport of India was presented with COVID champion? COVID champion. Which airport was presented with the COVID champion award during Wings India 2022? It was your Cochin International Airport. Cochin International Airport was presented with COVID champion during the Wings India 2022. All right friends. सो फ्रेंड्स, ये थी हमारी वीडियो. आई होप आपको वीडियो पसंद आई होगी. वीडियो को लाइक कर देना, शेयर कर देना एंड सब्सक्राइब कर देना. अगर आप चाहते हैं ऐसा कंटेंट फ्यूचर में आपके लिए आता रहे, ऑल यू हैव टू डू इज़ कमेंट बिलो एंड आपको अपने व्यूज़ नीचे बताने हैं. कि आप ऐसा सेशन आगे चाहते हैं तो कमेंट कीजिए. किस टॉपिक पे आप सेशन चाहते हैं वो आप नीचे कमेंट करके बताइए. अगर आपको सेशन अच्छा लगा तो हमारी प्रेज़ कीजिए यार, हमारी तारीफ भी कर सकते हैं अगर आप करना चाहें. ऑल्सो इफ़ यू हैव एनी ट्रबल रिगार्डिंग लॉग इन और payment or any other issues, then you can reach to us on our mail, that is support@affairscloud.com, or you can call us on the number 9677333862, and we'll resolve your issue as soon as possible. Also, you should go and check our courses that are available at a very reasonable price, and that will help you to boost your preparation.